Welcome to grass court season, fellas. Perhaps my favorite time of the year to enjoy and watch tennis after a great and entertaining French Open. In this tournament, Wimbledon has been absolutely dominated by the big three, Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal, the last 20 years, minus just 2 titles to Andy Murray. So let's jump into this video. 7 things that I'm really looking forward to in this year's Wimbledon, some questions that we need answering. And number 7, for the first time since 1998, that's 25 years, there will be no Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal in this year's draw. Wow! Because Federer played his first Wimbledon in 1999 and Rafael Nadal in 2003. And we all know Federer retired last year, but we don't know if we'll ever see Nadal again in this draw. We know he just had the hip surgery, depending on how that goes and when he decides to retire. By the way, check out my video on Nadal's options for 2024 and my thoughts on that. And number 6, don't read too much into these smaller grass court tournaments. And grass is by far the most unpredictable surface, especially analyzing like who's winning these smaller grass court tournaments. I think they're going to have success at Wimbledon. It's so unpredictable. In fact, the only surefire players on grass in the last 30 years was just 3 players. That's Sampras, and then Federer, and now Djokovic. And the grass court season is so small. There are no ATP 1000s, and there's just 2 ATP 500s, that's Halle and Queen's Club. And so what these top players do, the ones who don't need the money, who already have a main draw spot locked in, maybe already have a seed locked in, is they just use these grass court tune-ups to experiment, get used to the speed of the court. Number 5, is it time for an American revival? Because the Americans had a terrible showing at the French Open. They almost always do, because Americans have these big power serves, power ground strokes, and I expect a lot of Americans making it deep into this draw. In fact, there are 7 Americans in the top 50 right now. I think a lot of these guys had a good chance, including Tiafoe, Korda, Ben Shelton's a big dark horse for me in this tournament. And watch out for Cressy. He's so much fun to watch. A true serve and volleyer, one of the last of his kind. And number 4, this draw is freaking wide open for the next gen and the new gen. And tennis keeps saying, take the reins, do something with this massive gap, this massive opportunity with Nadal and Federer out, and all those other players that have aged out like Del Potro, Nishikori's still out, Cilic is out, Wawrinka just turned 38. Somebody do something. So I want to know who's going to step up, who's going to make this final. Probably lose to Djokovic. Or if nobody steps up, what's going to happen is Djokovic is going to still dominate for the next 3 years, and they're going to miss that window because we know there's going to be a new crop of players coming in every few years. Alcaraz is going to be great. So this whole wave of players is going to miss this giant opportunity. Medvedev, Tsitsipas, FAA, Rublev's, Sinner, come on, somebody step in. And for number 3, I'm asking the question, can Carlos Alcaraz or Iga Swiatek add another surface to their repertoire? And I'm not bashing either player because they are so young. Alcaraz is only 20, Iga's just 22, and Alcaraz has all the tools to be great on grass. He's got great power with versatility, a great net game, good drop shots, lobs, and Iga does as well, but I think Sabalenka's big power is going to be hard to beat, and as well as Ons Jabeur's great slice touch net game is going to be deadly on the grass. And number 2, there are a lot of players, really good players that got a huge head start at this year's Wimbledon because they've been playing on grass for several weeks or months now already. Whether they missed the French Open with injury recovery or they lost really early at the French Open. And one obvious one is Kyrgios. He's been injured this year with the knee surgery. But don't let that fool you because he's been training on grass for a while now and he's going to be ready. And then Andy Murray. A lot of people don't see him as a serious threat, but it's now or never for Murray. He'll be 37 next year, and this is his best opportunity to make a run for the rest of his career. And watch out for Berrettini. He's going to be back. Milos Raonic is going to be back after being off tour for 2 years. And Medvedev, he's never done anything at Wimbledon before, but he lost first round of the French Open, had 2 extra weeks to practice. Also, check out my other video, the top 10 contenders at Wimbledon this year on the men's side. And number 1, if you think Djokovic can relax now because he just passed Rafael Nadal, he's got 23 majors, Nadal's got 22, think again. And he's not going to do that because there's still a lot on the line for Djokovic. And while he will never tie or pass Rafael Nadal's 14 majors at the French Open, Wimbledon, he's still got a lot on the line because Federer still got 8 Wimbledons. Djokovic has still got 7. He's still tied with Pete Sampras. I know he would love to get that number 8, tie Federer, and then go for number 9 next year to become the greatest grass court player of all time. And I do fully expect that to happen. I expect Djokovic to get his 8th Wimbledon this year. I think he's going to breeze through this draw, and next year he's going to go for number 9 to pass Federer. And I really just cannot wait for this year's Wimbledon. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and check out my other video about the top 10 contenders at Wimbledon on the men's side, and I hope to see you out on the court soon. Ciao.